Hello, my name is Eric Sheptock. I'm also known as the Homeless Advocate, and I am an advocate right here in Washington, D.C. Now, to those of you at the Center for Community Progress, I noticed that you've invited representatives from Washington, D.C.'s government and from the governments of other cities, such as Richmond and Oakland, to an event at Harvard University around how to deal with vacant and blighted properties. Now, seeing that you're located here locally, I would assume that you would just go ahead and talk directly with DC government here, which you may very well have done, but it also begs the question of why then have folk from DC go all the way to Harvard to have this conversation so many miles away. But I also want to point out to you that I am right here by a Washington, D.C. tent city, one that's been threatened by city officials to be torn down sometime within the next week and a half. So your event is basically about gentrification. You know, I got to be frank with you. When I read about the event, I said, this is gentrification all over the place. Yeah, so you're going to teach city officials how to shut down these types of communities where low-income people stay. And you know, there is a possibility of marrying two ideas and being friendlier, for lack of a better term. So let's marry the idea of dealing with vacant and blighted properties and of creating affordable housing for very low-income people. And the term affordable is very ambiguous, so let me be clear. We don't just need affordable housing, we need housing choice voucher program units, and we need units that are for other people who are homeless or extremely low income, those who make $0 to $30,000 a year. Because long story short, when you talk about affordable housing and you factor in all of the government jargon around affordable housing, what it boils down to here in DC is that somebody who can pay $2,500 a month rent, who makes $88,000 a year, is eligible for assistance and for one of these low-income units. Okay, and so we need we need housing for those who can only pay maybe $600, $700 a month, or less in some cases. And so I also noticed that you don't have anybody from the homeless community or the very low income community at your meeting. And so I would encourage you to invite people like myself, people who are obviously well-spoken and who can speak on behalf of others who are very low income, to your meetings, so that we can talk with you about how to create housing for people like this who will be evicted from what little bit they have in the very near future. And so, if you don't already know, I want to point it out to you that in addition to being a homeless advocate, I am a very prolific computer user. I do a lot of writing. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm all over the internet. Just Google my name and you will find all sorts of stuff about me. And I don't want to put you out there. I'm reaching out to you so I can be very friendly towards you and we can have a nice conversation about how to ensure that, as the document which I read said, that we were going to help all DC residents and let all of them benefit. We want to make sure that all includes the 1.2% of the community that is homeless. And just to give you a little more context, we have somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000 homeless people in Washington, D.C., and the overall population of the city is about 670,000. So more than 1% of our population here in D.C. is homeless, about 1 in every 90 residents, and we want to make sure that even they are considered in this process. So let's have a conversation about very low income people, those who have no income, and who obviously need some form of housing. Thank you.